1 month remains in the League One regular season. The playoff rate tightens with only 4 matches to go as 2 Tennessee teams take the pitch. One Knox has a chance to punch their ticket into the postseason. The Red Wolves look to stay afloat amid a lengthy winless drought. We're at CHI Memorial Stadium for the USL League One presented by Transcard on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining me this evening as with only 4 games to go in 2024, every game requires an eye on the table. Knoxville are 9 points clear of 8th and they have a chance to join Omaha, Madison, and Greenville in the postseason with a win tonight. The Red Wolves are 3 points behind Richmond in 8th. Losses to Richmond and Tormenta with a Chattanooga win will put them above the playoff line. Both teams missed the playoffs last year and have a chance at the League One trophy in November. Knoxville are one of the hottest teams in League One with being unbeaten in 8 of their last 9, 4 wins and draws in that stretch. Their success has largely come from a lockdown defense that's allowed the fewest goals in the league. It was a seamless transition since Ilya Illich took over as he kept the same defensive-minded philosophy with 6 of Knoxville's 8 regular season wins coming via shutouts. However, their opponents, Chattanooga Red Wolves, they've had opposite fortunes as they have not won in their last 6 regular season matches, with their only non-losing result being a scoreless draw in Northern Colorado. The Red Wolves have been outscored 15-5 within the stretch. A bottom 5 goal-scoring squad, second most goals against, have not been a recipe that sits well with Scott McKenzie, but a healthier squad could provide daylight for the Wolves as they make a late season push into the playoffs. Not only that, but also some big players performing in big moments, including our player to watch brought to you by Channel News 12, being none other than the 27-year-old from Ghana, Rapapa Mensah. He is top 5 in League One in goals scored. He's second on the team. He starts as our center forward today and making his 20th appearance in the 2024 season. Mensah will be the go-to guy for the Red Wolves as they make a push to the postseason. Knoxville drove 107 miles down I-75 to Chattanooga. Knoxville wins. They punch their ticket into the postseason for the first time in League One. Chattanooga have a chance to elevate above the playoff line if they can get their 3 points. A tension-filled tussle upcoming in Tennessee, brought to you by Transcard. Lineups and kickoff are next.
I need to try it first.
Sports are lifestyle. Teammate trust tackle ball. Electrolytes equal mouth success. Artificial flavor optimized for victory times.
Artificial? Nah. Body Armor knows nothing in sports should be artificial because there's no substitute for real. Real sweeteners, real flavors, real love of sport. Body Armor. Nothing is more real.
Do you know how fast you were going? 2.5 gig. With kids on the couch.
New 2.5 gig internet from EPB.
Slow down.
It's recklessly fast.
Too fast.
With SmartNet plus Wi-Fi.
Violation.
Turbocharging all your devices. More than twice the speed of the gig for just a little more. Only from EPB.
That is recklessly fast.
I need to try it first.
We're back here at CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where Knoxville have a chance to win. They will clinch a spot in the postseason. Chattanooga wins. They have a chance to be above the playoff line. As both teams make their way onto the pitch, as we take a look at our starting 11s, brought to you by the Center of Sports Medicine Orthopedics, as we only have a couple of changes here for Scott McKenzie. He'll make 2 changes. Coutinho's in his 10th start in 2024 with 49 in USL League One. Mensah centers the top 3. He is 4th in the USL League One in goals. And back 4, the only change noted is Declan Waters coming in for his 25th appearance. TJ Bush is back in that, appearing in 25 of 26. He was Team of the Week in 2021 with a clean sheet in Windsor against the Hailstorm a week ago. Now, Knoxville have a lot of changes. They have 7. Zarakostas is with Inshuti up top. Inshuti is making his 3rd appearance, is returning from international duty with Rwanda. Vanderploom and Kelly start with Johnson in the midfield. Stuart Ritchie makes appearance number 50 with 49 matches started in USL League One. And Sean Lewis today, he is out due to a knee injury. Johan Garibay is in. However, good news for One Knox and One Knox fans. Johan Garibay, 7 starts between the regular season, the Jägermeister Cup, and the Open Cup. 5 clean sheets in those 7 matches started for number 25 in net tonight. Chattanooga Red Wolves, they have struggled in the season so far. They have been winless in their past 6 with 5 losses and a draw within that stretch. You expand that into the Jägermeister Cup, they have 1 win in their last 8. That was the Jägermeister Cup group stage finale where they beat Lexington via penalties. So they have not had a regulation win since the end of July. They want to turn those fortunes around at home in their purple kits today, taking on a One Knox side that have been absolutely on fire. As we mentioned in the open, wins in 8 of their last 9. However, they have not won in back-to-back games, getting a loss to Omaha and drawing against Madison only a couple of days ago. But for Ilya Ilic, he can take pride in part of what he has done with this squad since taking over, as has Scott McKenzie. And the good news for the Red Wolves team is that they have a chance to potentially get healthy at the right moment. They've been marred by long-term injuries, a lot of guys going on long-term injury, but they have a chance to have some of those guys back, including some guys. Toby Jean Hope comes back from red card suspension. He's on the bench today. You also have a couple guys like Michael Knapp. He was on long-term injury. He makes his way back today as well. As Omar Hernandez stands over the ball for the opening kickoff as we await Chattanooga. They will be in all purple. They will start this game off going right to left. Knoxville, they're in all white. They'll go from left to right as we get started here at CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus broadcast crew, we welcome you here to Chattanooga tonight for a matchup with so much at stake. Both teams looking to make their respective advancements throughout the postseason. Chattanooga want to make their way in. They're only 3 points outside of the 8th place Richmond Kickers, who are also playing concurrently today, while One Knox, they have a chance to win and punch their ticket. They had that exact same playoff scenario happen on Tuesday. However, they drew in that 1-1 match versus Forward Madison. That allowed Madison the opportunity to punch their ticket into the postseason on Tuesday, while Knoxville, unfortunately for them, they have to wait at least 1 more game to learn their fate in the postseason. Stuart Ritchie makes his way along that far flank as he wants to squeeze through between the defender and the end line. However, it was unable to be kept in play. That goes out for the opening throw-in for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. As we take a look at this Red Wolf side, 5-11-2 in the regular season so far. They sit at 10th in the League One standings at 17 points. It's a team that has kind of had struggles on both ends of the pitch. Bottom 5 in goals scored. They have the second fewest. They have the second highest goals against as we take a look at the Knoxville bench and the man leading the way. And Scott McKenzie and his squad, as well as Ilya Ilic. Both of them have been able to lead their team to where they've been, with Ilya Ilic 3-1-3 in his first 7 games and since taking over for Mark McKeever midway through August, and Scott McKenzie the whole way through. Match number 40 for Scott McKenzie. He's looking for win number 11 at home today. As we mentioned in the open, how things have been going well for Knoxville, and maybe not so much if you are Chattanooga, but they'll have to be the defense as Gio Calixtro works the near side. Calixtro wants to work past Roberts, tries to go in, but it makes its way out of play. Opening corner of the match upcoming. Gio Calixtro, he is the wing back on this near side. He will be ready to take the opening corner of the match for the 24-year-old from Oregon. He is ready to set the outswinger for the first corner of the match, only 3 minutes in. Degree day here in Chattanooga. Pretty much no chance of precipitation, only a slight wind that is expected to die out as the game progresses, as there is some kerfuffles inside of the penalty area with that giant crowd right around the 6. Our head official, Eamon Hadzik, has to separate some things as Calixtro is ready to take the corner after about a minute of delays. Is in Schutte with Lukic, who are going shoulder to shoulder with each other. As Innocent and Schutte, he has spent the early parts of September with the Rwanda international squad. As Jordan Skelton might have gotten a couple of shots in there right before the corner was ready to be taken. See Lukic and Skelton going body to body as Calixtro's ready to send this one in. So that only took about a minute and a half before Gio Calixtro gets ready, outswinger, goes for the head as that one goes out of play. First touch made by the center back Jordan Skelton at 6'4", 161, really trying to utilize the size but couldn't quite hit as it makes its way to the fan section. Good to see some of the fans here in CHR Memorial Stadium enjoying today's match, the October Beer Fest here in Chattanooga. As we are in the first of 4 match weeks in the month of October. Regular season slated to end a couple of Saturdays from now on the 26th. Now until then, that will be Chattanooga's last home match. This is their second to last home match. They have to go onto the road twice through the Red Wolves, going to Breese Stevens Field to play Madison, and then over to City Stadium to take on the Kickers, who they are actively chasing right now. So that could provide some tense playoff level moments between Richmond and Chattanooga as they both play for the playoff lives. As things start to come alive, Zara Costas, he flips it out wide with Calixtro trying to come in as Jamil Roberts leaps to cut off the feed, but it will provide the second corner for Knoxville. If you extend things all the way to the Jägermeister Cup as well, Knoxville, they've been unbeaten in 12 of their last 13. The one loss coming a couple weeks ago, that 1-0 loss in Papillion to the Owls of Omaha. Gio Calixtro ready for the outswinger, second of the game. Elevated, headed down, Skelton couldn't get it through before it's swung away by Lucas Coutinho. Richie keeps it in the opposing half, but Coutinho cuts him off. Walafi resets, but it goes straight into the feet of Gio Calixtro. Retreat as O'Hearn goes back and forth with Denny Fernandez. These teams have only played 6 times in their 2 seasons, 3 in both 2023 and this season. However, in the 3 tries that these two have had against each other, they've all resulted in Knoxville wins one way or another. 2 in regulation, 1 via Jägermeister Cup penalties. Angelo Kelly. All the way around, Sean O'Hearn. looks for a lane. And Skelton just takes it back at the center circle. This will advance things Chattanooga's way as they earn the throw-in. As Scott McKenzie's squad, they have had their struggles throughout the year so far, but they all know that it's all a large part of that slow build-up as we take a first look at Ilya Ilic. As we mentioned, his success so far in his first 7 matches in the helm for One Knox. A lot of that has to come with what he's done as a player. He was here as a player last season where he played in 21 matches with One Knox. And in the last couple of years prior, he was kind of around the USL ever since 2015 to last season of 2023. So that's 8 years as a player between the Championship and League One, where he spent over 170 matches between the 2 tiers, 150 of them coming in the Championship with Indy 11, New Mexico, and Lou City, where he won the USL title twice as a player in those 17-18 back-to-back runs with Lou City. And he talked about how he can utilize some of that experience as a player and utilize them in his coaching as well because of the pressure that's involved, as the pressure was coming offensively from Stavros Zarakostas as he takes some contact from behind. So draw a free kick just outside of the Chattanooga penalty area. That was Lukic who was going back and forth. 20-year-old Serbian. Minutes in, nothing really to speak of offensively except the ball's been in Knoxville's possession as it comes once more. Fed into the area, punched out by TJ Bush and out of play. This will provide the 3rd corner for One Knox after only 10 minutes of play. TJ Bush, what a stellar performance he had a couple weeks ago in Windsor against the Hailstorm. 8 for 8 was Bush, earning himself Team of the Week of Match Week 21, but he'll have to defend the 3rd Gio Calixtro corner kick in only about 10.25 minutes. Another one for Calixtro. Back post is headed by Skelton, but hits the roof. So it's going to be a goal kick for Bush as Skelton, today's One Knox captain, tries to give it a second go off of the 3rd corner of the match. Fernandez wants Richie, just barely gets a poke up as it makes its way for Zarakostas. Skelton. It's Callum Johnson who has to pivot because he had Mensah and Omar Hernandez all over him. There's not a lot of action here in a dozen minutes. Both of these 2 teams understand that One Knox, they're going to play very defensively, but they have to maximize their opportunities against a squad where you're not going to get many chances on them. So if you do have opportunities to bring it up pitch against such a defensive-minded team like One Knox, you have to take them as they come. But for Chattanooga, they have not really come in spades as another one of those balls makes its way into the crowd. Stuart Ritchie centers for Zarakostas. was introduced to the squad in the latter part of July and has made quite an impact since joining the squad. Appeared in 8 of the 9 games that he was available for selection. Considering where he has been, especially as of late in the first division of Finland, as well as the second division in Greece as well. And that was a piece that really brought some juice and some energy into the One Knox squad, especially offensively. How the presence just brought a lot for someone who is fast, dynamic, and really has the work ethic that really embodies what the One Knox culture is all about. Just really doing a lot of the dirty work, making sure you're getting in the right areas at the right time, just making sure you really commit to your opportunities. That time, the long ball was committed there by One Knox. However, Collection and Ahern were not necessarily on the same page, so TJ Bush will take it away. Chattanooga Red Wolves did not make the playoffs in 2023, want to get back. They have not been back since making their run to the final. Angelo Kelly slides it across for Calixtro. He's got some pressure on Walefi, but Calixtro cuts it back inside. Calixtro, Kelly, Calixtro! Too high for Gio Calixtro. Had a golden opportunity, only Bush to beat. Couldn't bury it. As Gio Calixtro almost had a chance to get his first goal of the season. Calixtro and Kelly were going back and forth. A nice give and go as Calixtro had the space. He just got under it. As we take a look on that last replay from Rodriguez Dentistry, score with a winning smile. But Gio Calixtro played the last 2 seasons before coming to One Knox with FC Tucson in USL League One, making his 84th appearance as today's right back for that 5-man defensive line unit for Ilya Ilic. Very defensive-minded team, as we mentioned in the open. They have the fewest goals against in the regular season, which, especially for this time of year, is something you're really going to need. The old adage, defense wins championships, and they really embody that, especially with the defensive personnel that they've had. But one of those defenders, Stuart Ritchie, just coughed it up for Stefan Lukic. Lukic plays it back for Hernandez as it makes its way for a follow. Walefi from Waters. Lukic is getting eyed by Kelly and Zaracosta, so he just leaves it back for Walefi, who will return it back to his own half of the center stripe. Jamil Roberts wants the long ball. He's got Pedro Hernandez. Hernandez takes some contact from Ritchie, no call. Instead, it goes on a play for a Knoxville throw. Hernandez wanted the call. Ritchie was right there. Too much juice for Zaracosta. Kelly with the header, and Zaracosta flips it up for Innocent and Shoot. He has Zaracosta in space. He wanted to toe tap it to continue chipping away upward, but instead it was too much so Bush will send it for Jamil Roberts, who leaves it for Fala as it makes its way to Walefi. Coutinho clipped up, out, Chattanooga throw. Owen Green wants to go deep. He thought he had the opportunity. He had Pedro Hernandez in space, but was cut off by a couple of white jerseys, so Lukic will take this one on the far side. Check out the new 2024 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. Attempted to elevate for Coutinho is way out of play, so this will be a throw-in for one Knox. As the officials try to get the spot proper before Calixto lets that one go in, so O'Hearn can give it to Jordan Skelton. O'Hearn goes deep, Innocent and Schutte glances off the hand before making the stop there for handball off of the 26-year-old Rwanda international, Innocent and Schutte. Talked about how he is back from international duty with the Rwanda team when he was with them back in September in the AFCON qualifiers. And Schutte played in 2 matches with Rwanda, including a goal against Team Libya. Makes his way back in the lineup for the 3rd time since international duty. But his squad has to defend for Papa Mensah, working on Sean O'Hearn. Mensah cuts aside, gets past O'Hearn, but Kelly is there in support. Calixto surrounding as well. Back up top. Quick rip goes as the attempt from distance was made by Declan Waters. He's well high and out of play. But a nice try there for Declan Waters, making his 25th appearance in the 24 season, in his first season with USL League One, after being with Vänersborg IF in the 2nd division of Sweden a year ago. Johan Garibay making his first couple of touches. The ex-keeper from Gonzaga makes his way after Sean Lewis was unavailable due to a knee injury that he picked up. So Garibay is between the pipes today. Stuart Ritchie has in Schutte too hard of a touch, as Hernandez will leave it back for Chattanooga. Scott McKenzie just trying to get this team a little bit more consistent, but some of that consistency hasn't come because of the injuries that his squad has faced. But with guys coming back and coming back into form, it has allowed an opportunity for potentially the true starting 11 that he had his eyes set on to start the season. Especially because they're probably as healthy now as they've been all season. And they had some good game plans against some of their recent opponents. It just didn't necessarily fall the way they wanted to. Had that scoreless draw versus Northern Colorado where they were very comfortable just defending the whole time, where they successfully did. However, they need to get themselves back on the win column. Only 1 win in Jägermeister Cup PKs in the last 8. That's their only win. If you want to look for a regulation win, you have to go back to the 27th of July. That was a 1-0 decision against Union Omaha. And even in that Omaha game back in July, you can argue if that was a Chattanooga win or an Omaha loss, because Omaha gave that game to Chattanooga via own goal. But it doesn't really matter because the 3 points will come either way. It's just a matter for Chattanooga if they want to get above the playoff line. There's 3 points under Richmond, who's above the line. You got to get back into that W column to get those 3 points back, especially because they would tie Richmond in points and would actually hop above Richmond via the first tiebreaker, which is wins in the regular season. They would actually surpass Richmond in that category, so that would be the tiebreaker to get them in the Red Wolves. Jessen van der Pluim slips it across for Danny Fernandez. Stuart Ritchie will take over with Hernandez watching him as he goes back and forth with Fernandez. And van der Pluim will take over, the 25-year-old Dutchman. He's been marred with injuries, has van der Pluim with a hamstring, missed pretty much a large portion of the season from May to September, but Calixto has it back. 23rd minute, Calixto wants to send it to center, but a jumping block was made by Jamil Roberts. Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Ball out of play, and it will go back to Bush. Scott McKenzie is not necessarily one to mince words, especially when we had the chance to talk to him a couple of days ago, especially with the state that their team is currently in, on the outside looking in, but not by much. It was kind of a question as how can they get themselves back into the race, and how can they really push things against those teams like Richmond and Tormenta, who are currently in the way. And it was all about making sure that they have the awareness of the situation that they're in, especially towards the bottom, because you can't just focus on yourself. You have to understand that there are teams above you as well. One of those being One Knox, as Angelo Kelly's on a pivot. Looks back. Kelly again. Cut off by Hernandez and makes his way for Mensah. Mensah crashes down as he wanted to see Omar Hernandez on the little spin around, but Papa Mensah goes down, the 27-year-old from Ghana. 20 appearances, 15 of those being starts. He is now 2 games away from 50 in USL League One, spending that whole time with the Chattanooga Red Wolves after spending the 2022 season in Egypt, and the last couple before that between a couple of other teams within the USL, including Sporting Kansas City 2, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Nashville SC before they went up to the MLS, as well as Harrisburg FC, which is now Philadelphia Union 2. As Johan Garibay gets ready to take the goal kick, and he has to take over. He has some big shoes to fill with Sean Lewis, the 2023 Golden Glove, and also arguably in the lead for the Golden Glove this year. However, Bert Shipman has a better GAA. But Johan Garibay, in his 7 matches started between the regular season, the Jaeger Cup, and the Open Cup, 5 of those games have been clean sheets. And in just the USL League One season alone, he has 3 wins and 2 draws in his 5 starts. He did make his USL League One debut this season in relief of Sean Lewis. Richie wants to serve it towards the middle, but it was too much on the cross, and that will find its way straight into the fan section. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Woleffi near the center circle. You got to be careful. Owen Green, his face is to goal. Bush has to get it away. Almost got a touch on by Zarakostas, and eventually Bush gets it away. Mensah and Coutinho are both there. Calixto got a touch. Coutinho keeps it in. Working the body is Calixto as O'Hearn. He gets double teamed. And eventually Skelton has some space to work with. One Knox coming off of a 1-1 draw versus forward Madison. And it was actually something that Ilya Ilic said was actually a huge disappointment to the guys in the room because they believed they had more in the tank. And because they were down early in that Madison game, just the response was really a selling point for Coach Ilic, that they weren't just playing, that they were really playing and engaged the entire 90 minutes. They didn't just stop taking chances after the first half because of how things were going. It was kind of a same storyline that he said was in the locker room in their 1-1 draw versus Charlotte in the beginning of September. So the fact that yes, they are getting points, you know, a couple of draws with some heavy hitters, the Independents, the Mingos. But the fact that he said that draws were disappointing to them and the boys really thought they had more in the tank spoke volumes, because they know how much potential they have and how they can really hang with some of these heavy hitters. As we mentioned, some of those other teams. And especially if they get a win today, it's an opportunity for them to clinch their first postseason berth since coming to USL League One. Calixto cut off by Coutinho, but O'Hearn keeps it for Knoxville. Knoxville already on 70% of the percentage as we're just shy of a half an hour. Nothing to speak of in terms of cards or anything else that you might see on the timeline of events. But a quick turnover, Stefan Lukic, he's got options. Lukic wants Mensah, but Garibay comes out instead. That is the first real defensive touch that Yohan Garibay has had to make, as he has not been in net since the 1st of September. As Stefan Lukic wanted to cut through, and then Yohan Garibay comes out, the first of the Rodriguez Dentistries replays, score with a winning smile. Shows a little tense after that one near the Knoxville box. Stuart Ritchie has to work with Hernandez on him. Ritchie wants to go across for Calixto before it's headed down by Roberts for the hands of Bush. Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. TJ Bush, most saves in the league with 88. A lot of that has to do with some of the struggles defensively. Those were the words of Scott McKenzie, and they don't want to have to rely on TJ Bush to make some of those saves, but sometimes it just kind of is how it goes. And it's not that Bush has necessarily done bad in any way. He has really been electric for Chattanooga. He's stolen them a couple of games here and there, has stolen them points. You can argue that the Northern Colorado game was one of those games where he really stole some points. You had that Lexington game that wrapped up the Jägermeister Cup. And if it's for what it's worth, the last time these two played, it was that 4-1 onslaught back in the middle of August. It was the head coaching debut of Ilya Ilic. However, unlike last time, we're not seeing a Jamil Roberts red card already at this time like it was in that game in mid-August. And not only did that provide the man down for the Red Wolves back then, but also around this point in the game, they would have been down 2-0 already, but we're working with a scoreless game so far, just over a half an hour in. Red Wolves take it back, as pretty much every decision that the Red Wolves can make, either off pitch or on, has to not only focus on what they can do with their own identity, but how they can expand that into countering the best assets of the opposition. In this case, it's that lengthy stretch of possession that one Knox had, as well as the double team, but sliding across is Hernandez, has Lukic. Lukic and Hernandez go back and forth before a couple of bobbles makes its way for Angelo Kelly. Kelly tries to get past Wolefi. And Kelly draws some contact from Wolefi, so it will provide a stoppage in play right at the center stripe. Coach Ilic very hyper aware of the scenarios, as we mentioned. That was his first game as a head coach after Mark McKeever and One Knox mutually agreed to part ways, and he's been on a roll since. Undefeated in 6 of 7 for Illich. That serves into the area, cleared off by Chattanooga. Lukic with a header. Second opportunity is stripped away by Zara Costas as he makes his way forward. Johnson for Ritchie. And Knoxville is not scared at all to just play this one back in their own half to keep possession as Innocent and Schutte looks for options. Kelly. Kelly wants to serve it across. He's cut off by Roberts. As Mensah tangle up with Kelly. Angelo Kelly is still on it. Innocent and Schutte. He's got 4 purple jerseys on him as Callum Johnson takes it away. Gio Calixtro has space on the near side. Searches. Takes a trick as well as a service. Cleared by Fala. Back on the feet of Calixtro. Calixtro just got bodied off there by one of the Red Wolves and eventually cleared by Coutinho. And despite maybe not necessarily having more wins and draws in the last couple of weeks, it has provided Knoxville to continue building game by game, point by point. As Kelly takes the foul there on Omar Hernandez. Hernandez continues to adjust, the 23-year-old from Dalton, Georgia. 22 matches, 11 of those being starts. Got his first goal in USL League One just a couple of weeks ago in that aforementioned Jaeger final. As we take a look here with Kelly, he had it, lost it. Just a clip on Hernandez, a little toe-to-toe action. But it's enough to halt things as the Red Wolves reset. Only 5 shots to speak of. A single one of those shot attempts were for the home side as they try to make way into the offensive half. Fala wants some distance on it for Pedro Hernandez. Stuart Ritchie elevates as he is in his 50th appearance, 49 of those being starts for number 22 in white today. And another bit of contact there as that was Zara Costas getting into a bit of a shoving match. It's Declan Waters who was trying to bring the body to the 26-year-old from Greece, Zara Costas. Metro is the official HVAC company of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Walefi trying to escape Zara Costas as Jamil Roberts works the near side. Angelo Kelly looks to cut off the lane. He does as it trickles its way into the hands of Johan Garibay. Made it as a trialist in 2023, did Garibay, after being the 2-time All-West Coast Conference player after redshirting with Gonzaga. In his first pro season, number 25 wearing the green today. So we are 10 minutes to the end of the first half. Hernandez and Hernandez. Hernandez wants to serve to the back post. Neither Coutinho nor Mensah were available, despite Mensah having the size to be the aerial threat that he is at 6'1". You could be 7'1" and that wouldn't have come near you. 8-5-5 are one Knox in 18 matches so far this season. They were 5th in USL League One going into today, but dropped to 6th after the Greenville Triumph punched their ticket into the postseason. Angelo Kelly slips past a couple bodies. It's Innocent and Schutte. Wiggles past one. Calixtro on the near side. Calixtro working on Roberts again. Calixtro, service, back post, head of the foot. Second chance, still in play. No one able to punch that one home, but Richie keeps it in for Johnson. Wanted Calixtro again, but headed down. Jamil Roberts makes his way for a Papa Mensah. And Mensah will send it back for Bush. Contact from Richie on the back of Hernandez. This ball goes Chattanooga's way. As Stuart Richie just got a little bit of contact on the back of Pedro Hernandez. In his 3rd season with the Chattanooga Red Wolves, is number 14 in purple today. Works for Coutinho, wants to send it to the area. Cleared out by Skelton. As it trickles its way past the line, it will be a Red Wolves throw. Coutinho cut off by Calixtro, and he wins the foul for Knoxville. Five minutes till halftime. This one Knox squad, despite possessing a lot of the ball so far to this point, they're leaning on 2/3. They not only have scored the fewest amount of goals against them, but they've also scored the fewest goals offensively as well. So keep an eye on that one going forward for a one Knox squad that is very good preventing the ball from getting their own net. They also struggle at getting the ball into the opposite one as well. Coutinho wants the body on Calixtro. As Calixtro takes the body, he got dragged down by Coutinho, and it will take a talking to from our head official in the red, Armin Radzik. He's got Sean Michael Kemp and Rebecca Luther as the assistant referees, with Jamie Crosby, our 4th official. As we take a look at the decision from the aforementioned head official, Amin Radzik, as Coutinho just got a bit of a hook on that arm of Calixtro on the drag down. Garibay had Mensah right in his face, so Skelton works his way up. Falls for Omar Hernandez. Stefan Lukic, he's got Pedro on his right. Pedro Hernandez has some space, chips it into the area. Mensah leaves it for Lukic. Huge save there by Garibay. Second swing for Coutinho goes out of play. And that is the first major save that Johan Garibay has made since beating South Georgia Tormenta in the beginning of September. As Hernandez wanted Mensah, left it for Lukic, and what a beautiful dive out there for Johan Garibay, using all of 6'4", 220 to keep that one out of the back of the net, as we remain scoreless in 42.
This replay is brought to you by Rodriguez Family Dentistry, the official dentistry for Chattanooga Red Wolves.
That most likely will go down as the first shot on target all game for either side. As just swaps hands of the two respective keepers, and now it comes back Knoxville's way at the center stripe. Coutinho Slides it. Omar Hernandez has options. Wanted to go for goal. Too much there. Check out all the exciting postseason action starting in November as the USL playoffs presented by Terminix showcases the top teams battling it out for the ultimate prize. Go to USLLeague1.com for all the latest playoff information. One Knox sitting in 6th have a chance to punch their ticket with a win. Chattanooga, they are in 10th on the outside looking in. A win today has a potential to put them in. Quick slide through, Bush corrals before sending it away for Jameel Roberts. So with the Richmond Kickers in a 0-0 draw with the Owls of Omaha, a win for Chattanooga can only put them 1 point behind the Kickers, as the gap between Richmond and Chattanooga was 3. But after that extra point that the Kickers earned against Los Brujos of Union Omaha, of all teams in the world, which really is a statement win for, really statement draw for Richmond if you think about it. It makes the climb that much steeper for the Red Wolves. Service, top of the area. You had Fala and Waters. Quick slide through. Mensah! Eight goals for Papa Mensah. Ties the team lead. His 20th in League One. Just shy of the half, it's 1-0. Nice start there from Hernandez as neither Fala or Waters had it. A fumble by Richie allowed the lane for Mensah to slide it through, and Rapapa Mensah makes it 1-0. "154 matches played in the entirety of the USL between his time in the Championship and in League One. Gets the opening goal for the home side just on the brink of halftime. And it's all a matter of how much extra it will be. And it's gonna be a huge uphill climb for Knoxville, as they have been scored on first 9 times and only have mustered a grand total of 2 points in those 9 matches, where they have conceded first.
Everyone enjoy your free salsa and queso at Jonathan's Grill East Ridge. Proof of ticket purchase is required.
Richie wanted to push it up as there's another minute of stoppage allotted for Papa Mensah. That also puts him 2 goals within the club record for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Vanderploom keeps it in play. O'Hearn back for Callum Johnson. Danny Fernandez wants to make something work in what's most likely the final 30 seconds of the half. Skelton Fernandez, they look for Zaracostas. He takes a body, no whistle there. Omar Hernandez, he just falls on his own 2 feet, and the fact that he just slipped on his own while grabbing his ankle, not a good sign. But I guess the good news is we're just about to approach halftime and he's up on his own 2 feet. So that's 2 positives there for Omar Hernandez, as he seemed to be grabbing that ankle right on the slip. Kelly will take the touch, as that will do it for the first 45 minutes of play. Chattanooga Red Wolves, they get one just on the brink to put them ahead at the half. From that man, Rapapa Mensah, goal 8 of the 2024 season, ties him for the team lead, number 20 in USL League One. as we make our way into halftime. It's 1-0 from Chattanooga as it's a Tennessee tussle between One Knox and the Red Wolves. More from the USL and League One as we make our way into halftime. If you're looking for a credit union that knows you by name, check out Scenic Community Credit Union. Checking accounts that fit for you. More from the USL and League One when we return.
Sports are lifestyle. Teammate trust tackle ball. Electrolytes equal mouth success. Artificial flavor, optimized for victory times.
Artificial? Nah. Body Armor knows nothing in sports should be artificial because there's no substitute for real. Real sweeteners, real flavors, real love of sport. Body Armor. Nothing is more real.
Razor-sharp Red Wolves, and he loves it when you call him real power. Kickoff from Chattanooga, and the Red Wolves seek another victory. From the right, put it up there, finds its way into the side.
I need to try it first.
We're back here at CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where it's 1-0 in favor of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's been plenty of action in the week, but also in week 21 as well.
Spokane settling into a defensive shape. Long shot from range! Unstoppable strike! The Jägermeister Cup in the semifinals. Gebhard in behind. Flag stays down against Derek Gebhard! Rifled into the roof of the net.
Ready again, Gomiro. This time it's lower, and backheeled in. Chandler O'Dwyer with the flick on. Gets the first goal of the game. In Richmond takes rid of it. He's got a wide open Joel Gomiro. He's got Fitch in support. Gomiro cuts in, takes a shot and scores! Gomiro, an assist, now a goal. 2-0 for Richmond. Turnover goes, long distance try, and Richmond's got 3!
Actually, I think Richmond, Greenville will love that Madison game. It's just a draw.
He did say! Punched away in the follow-through. Zakowski with a step. He's tripped up in the penalty area. And a point to the spot from our head official. McKinnon steps up, and he scores. Put some air under it, and pick the shelf. Now Garcia, the 16-year-old, lays it to Lemus. Siobhan John Brown shoots and scores! Excellent placement from Siobhan John Brown. McKinnon, one-timer across, and it's back into the net. A catastrophic mistake levels this one moments after Central Valley had the lead.
Your team and play as your favorite USL side as driving forward and slicing one in. Okay, Timbuya drives and strides and dances to the byline. Cross in! Obergun! My word, what a goal! Ahead of this corner kick. And it just flutters in over roaming. On the wide side. Almeida lines one up, skips through, punched away, it falls for Vivas! And just like that, Curry. And Spangler's turn. Ajmer Spangler! Has room to bash it in. It's a dangerous ball, and it's one that's put in. Union Omaha strikes first, and Charlie Ostrom providing the final touch. They will press and they will counter at times, but they will not overexert themselves to do it. Here's the low driver.
Settles it down and leaves it for Powder to center. Disrupted, still available. Up top, Martinez! TJ Bush was able to fall on it, and he makes the Jägermeister Cup group stage finale. Hernandez goes again for net, and it's punched out by Delgado. Omar Hernandez, that's how he scored his first goal in USL League One against...
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Recentra bien el balón dentro del área. ¡Hombre, es el segundo! La combinación es buena. Se canta el 1-1. ¡Te lo canto! ¡No te puedo creer! Increíble, Felipe. Y señoras y señores, la USL Championship.
Mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Returning here.
Jägermeister Cup final, actually just in any final. As this ball is lofted inside, skipping around, Rendon cutting left and shooting and scoring! As this ball is lofted inside, skipping around, Rendon cutting left and shooting and scoring! It looks like we've got a good one brewing here, folks. And Ethan Horn has done it! Let the title party begin!
As we take a look at our news and notes from around the USL and League One, as we just saw, Northern Colorado Hailstorm, their first trophy in club history, came in the Jägermeister Cup semis just a week ago. A huge step forward for Northern Colorado as they make their pursuit for both trophies. Joel Gomero, Billy Keane, Cam Lancaster, they're all nominated with Lyle McKinnon for the League One Player of the Month. And as we mentioned, Northern Colorado Hailstorm, Charlotte Independence, and one Knoxville, a win, and they're in to the postseason. Greenville already having done so earlier in the afternoon. As we take a look at our Saturday schedule, as we mentioned, Greenville triumphed. They clinched the postseason with a win, which is exactly what they did. They took care of business against Lexington SC in a relocated game due to the effects of Hurricane Helene, making things on that home venue for Greenville in Furman. They had to relocate to Clemson, still took care of business despite some of the adversity. And as we mentioned just before the end of the half, Richmond Kickers, them and the 1 point apiece draw with Union Omaha puts them 4 points above the Chattanooga Red Wolves. So that makes the Red Wolves climb just a little bit more of an uphill as the kickers take care of business. Well, more from the USL in League One, as well as this match when we come back.
I need to try it first. And one Knox as we get ready to start things off in the second half of play between one Knoxville SC and the Chattanooga Red Wolves SC. But before we get there, how do we even get to this spot? Well, that's where we come in with our first half highlights. Things got started in the 29th minute, where a quick little opportunity here for Stefan Lukic. He walks in, he wanted to slide it for a Papa Mensah, but Garibay comes out of his net to smother that one. As the halftime highlights are presented by the Scenic Community Credit Union. If you're looking for a credit union that knows your name, check out Scenic Community Credit Union, checking accounts that fit you. And this was right before the end of the half, where Lukic got the header off the feet from Hernandez. Coutinho couldn't get the rebound to fall on net. That was the first shot on target of the game, with Lukic getting the header. He was looking for an opportunity for his second goal of the season, and this was the one that busted the door open, as Omar Hernandez had Fala and Waters. Richie with a fumble lets that one go through for Pedro Hernandez, over for Papa Mensah. Mensah's 8th, 20 in USL League One. Pedro Hernandez getting the assist credit on that one, as we also take a look at our halftime stats, as it's been a largely one Knox possession game where they've gotten their shots. However, 5 shots to none on net. That's really going to be the big hamper there with Chattanooga. They are getting their shot attempts as well, but they're also getting them on net despite the lack of possession. Those 3 corners for one Knox kind of hampering things a little bit, as they all came in that first 15 minutes of play. But for one Knox, if they want to get back into it, that shots on target is the big thing to keep up on. As we are back here at center pitch. One Knoxville, they are in all whites as we get started to take the second half kickoff with the Chattanooga Red Wolves wearing their purples. They'll start the second half from left to right. One Knox is in all white. They'll go from right to left to start off the second half as we get started in the second 45 minutes of play. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus broadcast crew, we welcome you back here at CHI Memorial Stadium in a Tennessee-based showdown with Knoxville and Chattanooga. Knoxville, with them, the simple thing is it's a win and in. They actually can clinch as well, because Richmond, they had the draw. They have to get a draw themselves and a Tormenta non-win in order to get in. It's kind of a messy bit of situation there, as the first booking is gonna go against one Knox. So it will be Sean O'Hearn who will have the first booking of the evening, as O'Hearn gets booked for only the 4th time this season, but it does provide an opportunity to send the set piece in. As we are barely a minute into the second half. Hernandez lets that one fall. Follow up for Lukic. Wants the back post, but Johan Garibay with the hands. chucks it forward, too far for Kelly. Lukic goes back for Omar Hernandez. Hernandez wants Mensah. That's a very similar connection as it was a swing and a miss for O'Hearn, so Hernandez takes it back. It was Hernandez to Mensah. That time, Omar could not keep it in play, so it will be out of play. Goal kick for Johan Garibay. Jamil Roberts and Gio Calixtro, that's been a matchup that's been brewing all night. As that's going to be pitched up for Stuart Ritchie. Tries to work on Owen Green. That glances off of Green and will provide the first corner of the second half for One Knox. As both Ilya Illich and Scott McKenzie are content with the way the starting 11s have played through 45. Don't want to tinker with anything yet. But this will be the first corner of the second half for Knoxville, fourth of the match. As we are only about 3.5 minutes into the second half of play. Some more pushing and shoving inside of the Chattanooga penalty area will hold things up. Calixtro ready for the in-swinger, headed down and into the hands of Bush. Danny Fernandez on the receiving end, but Bush was up to the task. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, will all be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. USL continuing to build not only within their domestic brand, but internationally as well, with a couple of internationals, Zara Kostas from Greece to Angelo Kelly from Honduras. Gio Calixtro, Kelly serves, wants to center, couldn't hit and shoot tee, punched out by Bush. Mensah tries to hold on as Fernandez harasses him, and it's eventually cleared by the Red Wolves. Lukic continuing to push. Danny Fernandez. Jessen van der Ploeg. Kelly has space in center. Does he take it? Sends it with Nshuti. Nshuti! Off the bar and out! An absolute screamer for Innocent Nshuti. Hits the bottom of the crossbar and finds its way back in the field of play. Pass intended for Papa Mensah. Leaves it for Ritchie. Centrally for Van der Ploeg, and eventually it's just going to careen its way to Callum Johnson. Ritchie gets past Green, slides it towards center, couldn't hit and shoot tee as it splits him and Kelly. Lukic elevates. Waters for Roberts. Omar's got Coutinho. As Chattanooga, they could potentially either build on or maintain if they somehow get the 3 points out of this with a One Knox team that's been pressuring all game long. It's going to provide some life for Chattanooga, especially with the potential options they might have with some of the guys, especially with injuries they've dealt with, potentially having the opportunity to come back. Michael Knapp, he's dealt with a lower body injury. He was potentially available coming into today. He is on the bench today. Toby Jean Hope at center back. He is back for selection after missing the Northern Colorado game off a red card suspension. And you even have some guys who are back in the selection pool, but just were not selected for today's game, including Johnny Philippe, who was part of Scott McKenzie's long-term plans for the season going into 2024. However, Philippe only managed to get into a single game that was in their season opener against Lexington. He has not played since, but is coming back from a knee after being on long-term injury. Scott McKenzie's side, Chattanooga Red Wolves. Quick slide, goes for Papa Mensah, has to deal with the triple team of white jerseys. Play on is the referee's word. Fans want to whistle, won't get it. But they have possession back at center, does Chattanooga, as it makes its way into the hands of Garibay once more. As we take one last quick look, as Mensah had some contact with O'Hearn. Not necessarily anything there, as O'Hearn and Vanderploom just kind of just set up a barricade, and Mensah attempted to split them, but was unable to do so. As the replay is brought to you by Rodriguez Dentistry, score the winning smile. Already a much different game than what we saw in mid-August for that 4-1 loss in Regal Stadium. A lot of that had to do with some less than favorable individual defensive performances, but they were still competitive all the way through. Those were the words of Scott McKenzie when recalling what happened in that last game. But also considering what they have available now with the return of some of their players. They know they have the assets to really best fit the respective matchups that they're looking for, because those matchups will continue to add up as time goes on. Centers, Stavros Zarkostas, he goes for the back post, wanted Kelly. It's cleared out by Fala. Roberts with a swing as it makes its way out of play. Knoxville will take the throw. Calixtro wants back post, too much juice, out of play. As Calixtro wanted to potentially make something go, but could not do it, so it's going to be TJ Bush. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Callum Johnson for Richie. It's been a lot of Richie and Green and Roberts on Calixtro. That time Green got the little hip check on Stuart Ritchie before it glances off of Green out of play. So Ritchie will chuck this one in play for Fernandez. Wants Nshuti inside of the end line. No, not quite. Nshuti not fast enough. Chattanooga Red Wolves are trying to snap a regular season game streak of 5 losses in the last 6. 5 losses and a draw within that stretch. If you expand that into the Jägermeister Cup round of play, that actually goes of 6 losses and 8, the other 2 being draws as well. Quick touch on as Roberts got some contact with Kelly. Is it a foul? Is it a going to be a card out of the pocket. Callie's up on his 2 feet. As you see him wincing before he makes his way up. And the yellow card out of the official's pocket as well, as that first bit of contact was nothing, but the second one for Jamil Roberts will put him into the book. For the 8th time now in his USL League One career, Jamil Roberts is in the book in the 57th, now 58th minute. Callum Johnson ready to serve the set piece. Johnson, header, Fernandez, up for grabs, Fala. And Walefi gets the clearance. Some off-ball contact. You had Zaracostas and Pedro Hernandez at the center line, as that was just a physical battle away from the ball. Pedro Hernandez, he was credited with the assist on that opening Mensa goal, as right at the top, looks like they might have inadvertently clipped each other as they were just passing by. Pedro Hernandez trying to argue the elbow, won't win that one.
Body armor, the official sports striker, Chattanooga Red Wolves.
And now innocent Inshuti draws some contact. Yellow card is out of the official's pocket as it gets pointed toward Leo Fala. 20th start for Fala in 25 matches, a team lead 12 yellow cards. He already has 1 red card to speak of, as some of the chippiness starts to come through, potentially the attempt to maybe control the way things have been, especially in the last couple of minutes of play. Sean O'Hearn on a 2-man wall for Chattanooga. O'Hearn goes short. Johnson to the area, headed down, and eventually it will be coming back the other direction as Jordan Skelton draws the flag upward. Temp has dropped quite a bit from 81 degrees scalder to a much more manageable 76, with pretty much no precipitation on deck, with basically no wind either. Bush backs up as he's set to release. As we have a substitution ready for One Knox, Frank Ross makes his way into the match, which is part of the hold-up. As Callum Johnson makes his way into the bench for One Knox, the 26-year-old Scot Frank Ross makes his way in. Appearance number 48 in USL League One across his 2 seasons, both of them with One Knox. Kempis Tequila also makes his way for Innocent Inshuti as well, the leading goal scorer for this One Knox side. Right on the precipice a week and a half from now. The German striker becomes 27. So that's Tequila for Inshuti and Ross for Johnson.
Number 10, Kempis Tequila. And number 11, Frank Ross.
Danny Fernandez stepping up after receiving the pass from Angelo Kelly. Tries to dance past Lukic, but gives it to Kelly instead, who him and Fernandez go back and forth. Calixto couldn't get past Roberts as Mensah with the interception. Coutinho gives it back for Jamil Roberts. Skelton was running out of space, but Garibay has all the space in the world right now. Nice little strip there off of the little pickpocket from one Knox. Zara Costas gets taken away. Frank Ross stumbles, Richie centers, caught by Bush. Frank Ross just tried to slip it and slide it for Stuart Ritchie, who on the outside, it looked like he could have been attempting for Kempis Tequila in the center of the area, just couldn't hit him. We also have the third substitution as well, with Sivert Haugli coming in for Jessen van der Ploeg. Haugli in match number 27 after coming across the pond from Norway. Service. Is it Hernandez or is it Richie? Richie settles. Haugli wants Kelly. Kelly took contact, and it was deemed that Kelly was the one who made the foul. So Stefan Lukic, he is going to be taking some time. As Kelly and Lukic get tangled up there. As Kelly got a touch on Lukic before the ball made way.
Entering the match for your Chattanooga Red Wolves, number 23, Toby John Hope. And number 10, Ayel Malongo.
So we've got a pair of changes coming with Toby Jean Hope and Mael Malongo coming into the match. Omar Hernandez and Owen Green, the two Owens, they will exit. As we are at around 66 minutes. So we got Malongo and Mensah, two of the most dangerous strikers in USL League One, with Mensah and Malongo both tying the team lead with 8 goals apiece. Malongo not having scored in a couple of weeks, while Mensah tied that mark at the 45-minute mark on the dot. Quick service, wanted for Papa Mensah, but just finds Johan Gerbe instead. Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink at the Chattanooga Red Wolves. So that's already a pair of substitutions for Scott McKenzie, a trio for Ilya Illich. Ritchie for Ross. Ross, the center! Goes off of Declan Waters, took a gracious bounce. Had that one been a couple of feet under, that could have been an own goal. But instead, it will be another corner for One Knox. Ross, he can be so dangerous, especially from these sharp angles. He predominantly loves to work to the goalkeeper's right, his left. And it did work out there as it forced Waters to stick the foot out for another corner against Chattanooga. This is the 5th for One Knox. As there was an extra ball on the pitch. In-swinger, headed down on the post and out. Second chance gets cleared by Chattanooga. And Coutinho gets that one out, and it's a foot race with Pedro Hernandez. Ritchie's there first. That is 2 shots for Knoxville in the second half that went bar down out. One from Innocent and Schutte, and the second one off of that last corner. Campus Tequila elevates, makes its way for Angelo Kelly, out of reach. Lukic has Coutinho, and now it's a little bit of a rush here for Chattanooga. It's a 4-on-3. Coutinho has Hernandez. Sliding back is Knoxville as they eventually get the clear. That last corner opportunity was Calixto on the in-swinger. The header was Danny Fernandez, and just before Skelton got a foot on it, it was cleared by the Red Wolves. It provided a counterattack for Chattanooga. The man down is to none other than their captain, the 30-year-old Brazilian Wolefi. 96 matches played in USL League One after spending the last 6 seasons with Chattanooga. It's actually been an exceptional story for Wolefi since making his way to Chattanooga. He spent the first part of his professional career back in 2012, where he spent 2 seasons in Brazil, before just not playing any professional soccer for 3 years. Then he made his way into the USL Championship with Swope Park, which would eventually become Sporting Kansas City 2, where he was a part of that 2016 Swope Park squad that made it all the way to the USL Championship final. Then he was released in 2017, was not with the squad that whole season, went back to his home country of Brazil in 2018, and then in 2019 came to the Chattanooga Red Wolves, where he has been for the last 6 seasons. And he has been the longest tenured player on the squad and has been the leader for the Red Wolves the entire way through. If this is gonna be an exit stage right for the Chattanooga Red Wolves, it would be a huge loss, considering he is not only their captain, he has been their undoubted leader the whole through. Wolefi makes his way on his 2 feet, and it's just a question of whether or not the 4th official, Jamie Crosby, will flash anything on the board. It doesn't even look like it's in his hand, so they might try to carry on with him later on. '72nd minute, 2/3 of the possession has been in One Knox's favor. However, the score is 1-0 for Chattanooga. 8 shots to 4 attempted by Knoxville. However, of those 8 shots, only 1 have been on net, 2 on frame for Chattanooga. Garibay utilizing the mitts to prevent Papa Mensah from drawing any more potential danger.
Once the clock hits the 80th minute, beer will no longer be available at stadium concessions.
Kempis Tequila tries to escape. Walefi back in the match and got the tackle on Knoxville's leading goal scorer. Kempis Tequila actually got 2 of the 4 goals the last time that these two played. Those 2 goals came before the 25-minute mark. So not having him in the starting 11 was a bit of a hit, but could have a chance to make his impact felt coming off of the bench only about 10 minutes ago. Service in, took a deflection. Ross for Tequila. Tequila back. Haugli! Easily corralled by Bush. Ross wanted Tequila, and Tequila had a chance to go, but the left foot was gonna hit a purple jersey had he gone for it, so he dishes it off for Seward Haugli, who has yet to score a goal this season, and it allowed TJ Bush to send this one as far as he possibly can. Whistle goes in the favor of Knoxville. Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Substitution coming up as Kingsford Ajay gets ready to enter the match. Ajay will come in with the ensuing exits of Stavros Zarakostas. The 25-year-old from Ghana is playing in his 20th match of the season, 75th in USL League One. Spent a lot of those 75 games with South Georgia Tormenta, where he won the title back in 2022 with Ian Cameron's squad. Playing in his 3rd match since the start of September. Quick poke up, Stefan Lukic from distance. Trying to give it a go, too much juice. Garibay will get the goal kick for his side to reclaim possession. Richie. Fernandez wants to go back for Stuart Ritchie. Ritchie, service, Tequila, can't get the head. Ajay settles, waits, and he gets fought off the ball well by Walefi. Mensah couldn't corral. Kelly for Ajay. Haugli, Mensah's down. Ross wiggles past. Calixto wants to serve, goes low, interrupted by Fala. Coutinho with a swing. Right into the feet of Jordan Skelton. Mensah still ground, writhing in pain. Skelton gives it a go from distance. Haugli keeps it for Knoxville. Chattanooga fans want a stoppage in play because Mensah's still on the pitch. Calixto hesitates, second take. Goes off of a body in purple. It will roll outside of the end line for a 1 Knox corner as Mensah will finally get some attendance. The officials want the training staff on. The hand gesture from Papa Mensah said, no, don't come on. But because Mensah was down for quite a while during that last play, they might ask him to take some time on the sideline, especially because of how long he was down in the realm of play. As we get another look here, it was just that little miscommunication with Mensah and Walefi, and it was just that body to body with Ross that dislodged the ball to allow Ajay to reset things. And we will have a corner kick upcoming for One Knox. Metro is the official HVAC company of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Knoxville win and in. If they tie, they already have the help of Richmond's draw versus Chattanooga. And they also have to wait for a Tormenta non-winning result as the Ibises are in Windsor against the Hailstorm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last call for alcohol. Once the clock hits the 80th minute, here will
Dozen minutes to go in regulation. Knoxville down by 1. Calixto with the in-swinger, headed down by Kelly, out of play, back-to-back it goes for One Knox. This is a One Knox team that has struggled to score at various points throughout the season. They have the fewest goals across the entire League One season, if you take the Jägermeister Cup results into account as well. But they also have the lowest goals against, so that's been the beneficiary, but Tequila goes low. Couldn't get the touch, was Fernandez. O'Hearn has to skip past so he can keep it for One Knox. Headed down, Ross settles. Ross pivots, waits, takes, no rebound there as Danny Fernandez, had he got the tip on, could have made it 1-0. But Fernandez just a little short, so TJ Bush will send the goal kick. This was a nice opportunity here. Frank Ross, he had the option he wanted. I don't know if he was necessarily going for a goal, but Fernandez, had he gotten that poke, that most certainly would have been his second goal of the season and the equalizer. This One Knox side trying to unite together as a unit throughout the adversity that they faced, not only in the lack of goal scoring front, but because of some of the off-field issues as well. Trying to make sure that those types of adversity don't necessarily force them to feel sorry about themselves or maybe break the team apart or have those fractures. As Ilya Illich believes it was actually the former, where they have come together quite a bit. Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Bush on the goal kick. Lukic and Mensah want to send it up. Mael Malongo goes deep, but he is going to be offside. A little bit of confusion all over the pitch because no one kept an eye on Johan Garibay grabbing the second ball instead of the one that rolled out. Kelly wanted to return it for Ajay, but it provides an opportunity for Coutinho to Lukic. Interrupted by Haugley as he gets the return feed from Danny Fernandez. Stuart Ritchie, 10 minutes to go in regulation. Has a chance, Frank Ross gets past one, couldn't get past John Hope as John Hope pokes it out of play. John Hope returning from red card suspension against Northern Colorado. He has only had 2 games as a substitute since being acquired in the latter portion of July. Every other game he's played, he was in the starting 11. But him and the rest of his squad have to defend as One Knox will make their way for their 5th corner of the half. Low ball, headed out. It was Mensah who was in the way. O'Hearn recollects. poke back. Quick go, offside, flag up. So Michael Knapp gets ready on the sideline as he is prepared to come in for Lucas Coutinho. Michael Knapp only making his 6th appearance. His other 5 were all starts. He was out for a large portion of the last couple of months due to a lower body injury. And he's only played those 5 matches within the July to August stretch of games, but he makes his way back in for the first time since the second to last Jägermeister Cup group stage in Madison in the beginning of August. Overshot throw in for Chattanooga. They will just let this clock continue to bleed despite only possessing under a third of the play so far. As that one will be a whistle in favor of One Knox. And this time, for Papa Mensah, he might not escape the sideline and the trainers this time. He stays in play as O'Hearn gets ready to give it a go. Into the area, and it's all hands for TJ Bush. TJ Bush, start number 50 in USL League One. He is looking for his 7th win of the season as his team is up by a score of 1-0. Career highs in matches started and goalie wins for the 26-year-old keeper, TJ Bush. As they take some contact off of a white jersey out of play just in front of the Chattanooga bench. Lukic elevates, wants Mensah, cut off by Skelton. Lukic keeps it alive for Mael Malongo. Malongo couldn't get past Calixtro, but it goes off of Calixtro out of play for the first corner of the match for Chattanooga. Chattanooga looking for their first win since late July. That would be the first win in 8 matches across the 2 competitions. Knoxville looking to avoid being winless in 3 straight. This would be 2 losses in 3 for One Knox if they cannot get the equalizer, as Lukic is prepared for the outswinger. Headed by Kelly. Mensah in a race with Ajay. Distance try is over the top of the net. So Devin Benton will wrap up the final 4 minutes as Stuart Ritchie makes his way into the bench. This is 70th League One match for Devin Benton, a League One champion with that North Carolina squad last year. It's only his 2nd game since late June. Kelly wants Tequila, slides it back for Kempis Tequila. Tequila still on it. Tries to get it to Benton. Fernandez for Ross. Ross for Kelly. Kelly hesitates. O'Hearn, Calixtro, 3 minutes to go in regulation. Sent it into the area, too high for Danny Fernandez as Devin Benton gives it back for Stephen Haugley. Haugley, Ross centers, couldn't get the deflection and cleared by Mayel Malongo. Skelton and Mensah scrap at the center circle, and Kelly just takes the green grass in front of him. 11 shot attempts for Knoxville, only 2 have been on frame. Kempis Tequila with a spinorama as he finds a lane for Frank Ross. Devin Benton. Haugley. O'Hearn. Ajay. Makes Malongo miss. Wants to scoop it. Benton, back post! And it's TJ Bush with the hands as the bounce didn't make its way behind the line. That was a nice little shovel up by Ajay as Benton got some contact, but not all, as he was scrapping with Toby John Hope. And that allows Bush to fall on top of it. And Bush is slow to get up. We saw this last week versus Northern Colorado that TJ Bush had some laboring efforts to get back on his feet. There could also be maybe a time-wasting element as well. Not saying that TJ Bush is faking it, I'm just more or less that it benefits with only 90 seconds of the regulation 90. As Bush tries to stretch out his back, he had that same issue, that lower part of his back in the no-co game a couple of weeks ago. As we saw some of the stretching as the training staff works on Bush's lower back. So Bush is back. Ricardo Jerez would be the substitution goalie available, as there have only been 3 subs used by Scott McKenzie if he wants to put in his 38-year-old goalkeeping coach as well. As we take a look at section 119, as both sections 119, the supporter section for Chattanooga, and section 120, the road crowd section, a portion of the tickets from those 2 sections were used in relief of their respective areas' relief efforts after the destruction caused by Hurricane Helene, as One Knox and Chattanooga have combined to reunite and rebuild the Tennessee region after the devastation that has been caused by Helene. We wish nothing but the best for everyone involved and only the best going forward. A whopping 8 minutes of stoppage time to work with before Chattanooga either get the 3 points they've been looking for since July, or before One Knox can equalize. Kingsford Ajay, one at the top of the area, but John Hope with the slide. Lukic, cleared by Chattanooga. Mayel Malongo's alone on the far side. O'Hearn is the only one there. Malongo's got Lukic and Mensah to center. Malongo gets past O'Hearn. Malongo just skips wide. And is it going to be a corner or a goal kick? It is going to be Johan Garibay to send the goal kick off. Mayel Malongo, 51 matches played, trying to skip past O'Hearn. Nice little shimmy shake there for the forward, who is really aggressive with his pace, utilizing his speed any chance he can get. Tried to do it there to get past O'Hearn, but nothing comes of it. A bench yellow after that last little opportunity there from Malongo. Scott McKenzie believed that it should have been a corner, but instead he got a yellow for some of the choice words he may have used, as Devin Benton sends it across for Angelo Kelly. Kelly wanted Tequila, disrupted, taken away by Ross. He takes contact, no whistle. Kelly wants to go, he's got Jordan Skelton. Benton. Ross and Haugli meet, but Ross will take it. Works on Lukic. Ross shovels it. Wanted the header for Fernandez, just over top. It will be held on by Bush. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Kingsford Ajay cuts inside, wants to pitchfork it into the area. Benton on the collection after the bounce. Haugli. Calixtro. Calixtro has to work on Roberts, wants the center, back post, Benton is down, rebound, scores! It's Knoxville, Fernandez, we're tied! This was the play Knoxville's been looking for all game. They've been serving it from the outside in. It wasn't a matter of if, but when. Benton with the bounce. Fernandez with the cleanup. That's his second goal of the season. He scored his first against Chattanooga. Gets his second against Chattanooga. 1-1. We're level.
Goal scored for Knoxville SC, number 13.
So Danny Fernandez, as we mentioned, that was his second goal of the season. He got his first against the Chattanooga Red Wolves in that 4-1 win back at Regal Stadium. He scored that goal off of a penalty kick. That is his third goal in USL League One in his second season with One Knox for the 27-year-old Spaniard. He gets looked at on that knee. As you saw, he has a knee brace on his left knee, but it's actually going to be the Red Wolves who make a change with Stefan Lukic coming out.
Number 11,
And Siobhan Marsh will make his way onto the pitch in place of Stefan Lukic. So you have probably the most dangerous offensive trio in the entirety of USL League One on the pitch together. Mensah up top with Malongo and Marsh coming off of the bench. That is the fourth substitution Scott McKenzie has used as he wants to reclaim the lead with only 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Mael Malongo works on Gio Calixtro. Calixtro got the touch, so it will be a Chattanooga throw. Chattanooga looking for the first win since July. Knoxville, if they can get one more and the W, they're in. If they draw One Knox, they have to hope that Northern Colorado Hailstorm continue leading on South Georgia Tormenta as NOCO are up on the Ibises in the 25th minute. Richmond's draw is a part of the multitude of circumstances that need to happen if One Knox do not get the win. Jean Hope lofts that one out of play, but it last one off of Kempis Tequila. And that will be a booking on Kempis Tequila.
The official has issued a yellow card to Knoxville SC, number 10,
Devin Benton, a credit with the assist as well. That's his first goal contribution to the season. Rapapa Mensah wants to send it across. Marsh with a shot off of a sliding O'Hearn. Kelly with a block as well. Danny Fernandez tries to go up high. Wanted Kempis Tequila, but it's all Fala. That first yellow card for Kempis Tequila brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Bush has to retreat back as he has to come back off of the backwards feed from Declan Waters. Haugli heads it for Benton. Kingsford Ajay. John Hope, all eyes. Ajay back. Centers, Kelly, Ross. Ross, wide angle, Ross! Takes a deflection off of Waters. That is the 6th corner of the half for Knoxville. 9 in the game in totality. In the final minute of stoppage time, Knoxville with a chance. If they win, they're in. If they stay level, they need to hope that Northern Colorado takes care of business against Tormenta. Kempis Tequila ready for the outswinger. Tequila, outswinger, headed out. Kept in by Benton. Kempis Tequila. Tequila gets past Mensah. Up top for Calixtro. Calixtro hesitates. Back for Benton. Service, area, back post, cleared out by Jean Hope. Haugley wants to keep it in play, and he does. Gets past Malongo on the service. Tequila with a header. Just too high for the header for Tequila, as Chattanooga will get it out of their own end. We're past 98, behind the back of the intended target. Still alive for Knoxville as the whistle has not blown. Angelo Kelly gets the reception from Gio Calixtro. Kempis Tequila on the far side as he works on Jameel Roberts. Tequila works in, cuts in, leaves it. O'Hearn. O'Hearn on Woleffi. Waits for his options. This might be the final play of the game. Sean O'Hearn takes contact. Turnover as Woleffi takes it away. Woleffi walks it out. Wants to slide it too far. Pedro Hernandez keeps it alive for Siobhan Marsh. Volleys it down for Mael Malongo. Mael Malongo and Marsh. Gives it back to Marsh. Marsh! Out of play, but it might have hit a body on the way. It did. It was Jordan Skelton, I believe. Or that's O'Hearn. Regardless, that went off of a Knoxville defender for a corner for Chattanooga. Chattanooga want to get within 1 of 8th place Richmond, as Richmond is up 4 points in the standings. Outswinger, header, Mensah, out by Skelton. Mensah again, rebound, save, Garibay! Back-to-back corners for Chattanooga as Mensah got it through. It was cleared by Skelton as Mensah got the follow-up for Hernandez, and it was off of a palm of Johan Garibay. The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms. ESPN Plus, 1-1, cleared off the line. Benton with a clearance, and that is it. A hard-fought 98 minutes of play, extended all the way beyond 100, and all that's left is a level scoreboard. It is level at 1 apiece. Chattanooga remain winless in their past 7, and 1 Knox unbeaten in 9 of 10. As we take a look at our man of the match, brought to you by Timbercraft Whiskey. And who else would it be? The lone goal scorer for the Chattanooga Red Wolves, Rapapa Mensah. 20 goals in USL League One, now ties the team lead, as the Timbercraft Whiskey man of the match is for none other than number 20, with the opening goal just shy of halftime, as Scott McKenzie takes a look at most likely the box score, as our full time is brought to you by SmartBank. 1-1 after 90 plus, Chattanooga and Knoxville.
Do you know how fast you were going? 2.5 gig. with kids on the couch.
New 2.5 gig internet from EPB.
Slow down.
It's recklessly fast.
Too fast.
With SmartNet plus Wi-Fi.
Violation.
Turbocharging all your devices. More than twice the speed of the gig for just a little more. Only from EPB.
That is recklessly fast.
Why?
I need to try it first.
So as we take a look at Scott McKenzie having some discussions after a hard-fought 90 minutes, 1-1. After Richmond got the draw and Knoxville got the draw, Knoxville punched their ticket to the postseason after a 1-1 decision after 90-plus minutes of play. As we take a look at our full-time highlights brought to you by CHI Memorial. It got started off in the 45th as Omar Hernandez wanted to go for the elevation. Richie with the turnover allowed Pedro Hernandez to feed Papa Mensah right in front of the penalty area, as he had all the space in the world to complete that pass. I'm sure it's all zen for the Chattanooga Red Wolves after 45 minutes, but that doesn't mean that they were in the clear because one Knox kept going. Campus Tequila hesitated as Seward Haugley wanted to give it a go to net, was easily smothered by TJ Bush. And Gio Calixto, he's been working that far sideline all night, continued to get it done as Haugley wanted to go for his first goal of the season, could not get that one through. And in the 90+3, chaos in the penalty area, Gio Calixto, he has been so good at feeding these balls, just continues to get that one pitchforked into the area with Benton headed down, and the rebound smashed home by Danny Fernandez for his second goal of the season, both of them coming against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. And Fernandez gets the equalizer at 1. The Richmond non-win and the Knoxville draw puts them into the playoffs as we take a look at the full-time stats presented by Smart Bank. Experience Smart Bank. 17 shots attempted to 10 with only 6 combined shots on target. So you can see how a lot of both teams, they got a lot of opportunities. They just weren't necessarily hitting the net. Knoxville had over 2/3 of the possession. As you can see, those 9 corners, they only got a single goal out of it. That could be something that could maybe, hasn't necessarily done anything, hasn't had issues so far with one Knox. Down the line, who knows how that's going to result, but it did give them enough to get them into the postseason with the Richmond draw earlier in the evening. We also had the impressive individual performances, especially with Danny Fernandez just surrounding the box all game. Papa Mensah, he was dangerous everywhere that he went with the assist from Pedro Hernandez. Devin Benton was credited with the assist on the Fernandez goal. As we take one final look back at CHI Memorial as we close things out. Well, it was a hard-fought 100 minutes here at CHI Memorial Stadium, where the Chattanooga Red Wolves and one Knox, they were level at 1 after it was all said and done. The Richmond draw provided one Knox the opportunity to punch their ticket into the dance. They're in the postseason. For all of us and our entire ESPN Plus broadcast crew, my name's Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.